A wand can betray you. It can refuse to cast a spell, fizzle into pathetic sparks, or backfire with explosive force in your hand. But pair the wrong core with the wrong wood, and it might just kill you. Some wands choose the wizard, others destroy them. Why? Because buried deep inside every wand is a dangerous bias, a magical instinct that decides your fate before you even grip the handle. The great wandmaker Ollivander didn't call it an art. He called it a science, a complex, often perilous, and deeply personal field of study that explores the very soul of magic. And today, we are ripping that science wide open. Which core grants unbreakable loyalty? Which wood demands blood? Which combinations have birthed legends, and which have led their masters to ruin? The story of a wand is the story of a life. It is an echo of the creature that gave its heart, a whisper of the tree that gave its body, and a reflection of the witch or wizard who gives it purpose. To understand this trinity of core, wood, and wielder is to understand the very nature of power itself. So let us begin where all magic is born, at the very heart of it all, where true power lives, and where it can all go so terribly wrong. The cores. When we speak of wand cores, we must begin with the three that Ollivander himself deemed supreme. These are the most powerful, the most reliable, and the most sought-after materials in all of British wand-making. They are the gold standard against which all other cores are measured. And first among them, in rarity and in mystique, is the phoenix feather. Phoenix feather cores are the rarest of the supreme three, and are easily the most unpredictable. They are also, without question, the most magical. Each feather is freely given by a creature of immense power, a symbol of resurrection, purity, and untamable fire. The phoenix is a being that lives a cycle of death and rebirth, whose tears can heal the most grievous of wounds, and whose loyalty, once earned, is absolute. This complex nature is imprinted upon every feather it sheds. The most famous donor in recent history was, of course, Fawkes, the cherished companion of Albus Dumbledore. It was from Fawkes that 2 feathers were taken. 2 feathers that would find their way into the cores of 2 wands destined to shape the course of wizarding history. The wands of Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort. Twin cores, from a single extraordinary source. This shared origin created a profound and dangerous connection, a bond known as Priori Incantatem, which forced the wands to recognize each other as brothers and refuse to fight one another properly. When forced, one wand would regurgitate the spells of the other in reverse order, a spectacular and terrifying display of their shared soul. This is a testament to the deep, almost sentient magic that a phoenix feather core possesses. Wands with phoenix feather cores are known for producing the widest and most versatile range of magic. They are capable of the most subtle and intricate charms, the most powerful defensive spells, and the most devastating curses. However, they are not quick to reveal their full potential. They are notoriously picky, taking longer to warm up to their owners than either dragon, heartstring, or unicorn hair. You cannot win the allegiance of a phoenix feather wand through power, nor can you charm it with ambition. Its loyalty must be earned through courage, nobility, and a strength of character that the wand itself deems worthy. They are also the most likely of all wands to act independently. This is not a metaphor. These wands have been known to cast spells of their own accord if they sense their master is in mortal danger. It is a manifestation of the phoenix's protective instincts, a final, desperate act of loyalty. And yet, that loyalty has its limits. A phoenix feather wand will obey a new master if its owner is properly defeated in a duel, but it is not a simple conquest. Their allegiance runs deep, rooted in a bond that transcends mere ownership. Like the bird they come from, they tend to rise from the ashes, but only for those who have proven themselves worthy of their fire. If the phoenix feather represents mystical loyalty, then our next core represents raw, unadulterated power. The dragon heartstring. This core is flashy, aggressive, and exceptionally potent. Harvested from the hearts of the most formidable magical beasts, this core is all about intensity. The very process of acquiring it is fraught with peril, a testament to the power it contains. While some wandmakers may use symbolic representations, the most powerful heartstrings are taken from the great dragon breeds themselves. The Hungarian horntail, the Chinese fireball, the common Welsh green. Each carries a slightly different magical signature, a hint of the beast it came from, but all share a common trait, a capacity for spectacular, unrestrained magic. Dragon heartstring wands learn more quickly than any other type. They respond fast, bond strongly with their current owner, and produce magic that is raw, explosive, and theatrical. They are the wands of great duelists, powerful aurors, and ambitious witches and wizards who are not afraid to make a statement. Wands with this core tend to favor strong-willed masters. They are not easily influenced by others, but they love decisiveness and conviction. If you are the kind of person who charges into danger rather than talking your way out of it, congratulations. This core probably likes you. Hermione Granger, one of an age's most powerful witches, wielded a wand of vine, wood, and dragon heartstring. Bellatrix Lestrange, a witch of terrifying power and cruelty, used a walnut and dragon heartstring wand. The core does not judge, it only empowers. But there is a catch. Dragon heartstring wands are also the most accident-prone. Not because they are inherently unstable, but because their power output scales directly with the user's intent and emotion. A flick of the wrist that is too hard, a thought that is too sharp with anger or fear, and well, things explode. They lack the fine control of a unicorn hair wand, instead offering a torrent of power that must be carefully managed. They are also the most willing of the Supreme Three to switch allegiance after defeat. They are, in a word, pragmatic. In the world of dragons, might makes right. A dragon heartstring wand respects power above all else. It does not cling to a defeated master out of sentimentality. Command it well, and it will obey you without question. Fail to control it, and it will bite back, just like the dragon it came from. And finally, we come to the most gentle, the most consistent, and perhaps the most underestimated of Ollivander's chosen three, unicorn hair. Sourced from the single, pearly horn of a unicorn, this core is renowned for its purity, grace, and moral clarity. While it may not boast the raw magical firepower of a dragon heartstring or the mystical independence of a phoenix feather, it is fiercely loyal and incredibly reliable. These wands are known for producing the most consistent magic, free from the blockages and fluctuations that can plague more temperamental cores. Unicorn hair wands tend to bond very strongly with their first owner and are the least likely of any wand type to shift their allegiance, even if their master is defeated. They often become so attached that if their first owner dies, the wand itself may die with them, losing its magic and refusing to work for anyone else. They favor calm, centered users, people who approach magic with respect, responsibility, and kindness, not ambition or drama. The magic they produce is clean, crisp, and difficult to corrupt or turn to the dark arts. This innate purity makes them ideal for younger students, still learning to control their magic, for those who specialize in healing and defensive spells, or for anyone trying to avoid accidentally setting the curtains on fire. But do not mistake calm for weak. In the right hands, a unicorn hair wand becomes a weapon of pure precision. It can cast powerful protective charms, intricate healing spells, and precise, elegant offensive magic. It simply prefers not to shout about it. The wand of Cedric Diggory, a champion known for his fairness and bravery, contained a single hair from a particularly majestic unicorn stallion. This core's steadfast nature makes it a poor choice for dark wizards, as it will often fail them when they attempt to cast the most heinous of curses. It is a core with a conscience, a quiet but unyielding moral compass at the heart of the wand. These three cores, Phoenix, Dragon, and Unicorn, form the bedrock of modern British wandlore. They represent a balance of magic, power, and purity. But the world of magic is far larger than one island, and the creatures that inhabit it are more varied than any one wizard could ever know. Beyond this celebrated trinity lies a realm of rarer, more specialized, and sometimes far more dangerous cores. Let us begin with the darkest, and possibly the most misunderstood of them all, Thestral Tail Hair. This is the core used in the Elder Wand, the most powerful and feared wand in all of wizarding history. And fittingly, it is also one of the rarest and most perilous materials in existence. Thestrals are skeletal, winged horses, magical creatures that can only be seen by those who have witnessed death firsthand and have come to understand its finality. Their magic is deeply and inextricably tied to mortality, perception, and the veil between worlds. This may explain why the Elder Wand behaves as it does, with its insatiable thirst for power and its bloody trail of masters. A Thestral Tail Hair core produces a wand of immense power, but one that is highly difficult to master. They are extremely loyal to strength, almost intolerant of weakness, and deeply attuned to the intent and ambition of the user. To wield such a wand, one must be a master of their own mortality, unafraid of death and willing to command the forces that govern it. If you are not prepared to command it fully, with absolute conviction, do not expect it to cooperate. In fact, you may not survive the attempt. The Elder Wand's allegiance was won only by conquering its previous master, often through death. It is a core that understands only one language, the language of ultimate power. It is for this reason that no reputable wandmaker, including Ollivander, would ever willingly work with such a substance. To do so is to invite death to your door. From the shadow of death, we turn to a core of fiery, untamable life. Vila Hair, used famously in the wand of the part Vila Witch, Fleur Delacour. This core is extracted from the magical, captivating beings known for their blinding beauty, irresistible charm, and terrifying fiery temper. And their wand cores are just as volatile. A Vila Hair core makes for a wand that is both powerful and profoundly unpredictable. These wands are capable of strong magical surges, particularly in the fields of charms and divination, but they suffer from instability and moodiness. They often act in unexpected ways, resisting spells they seem to dislike, or producing results that are far more dramatic than intended. Ollivander himself refused to use Vila Hair in his wands. He found them too erratic, too temperamental, and far too dangerous in the wrong hands. The wand may be beautiful, elegant, and powerful, but its allegiance is flighty. It is prone to fits of pique and can be difficult to rely on in a high-stakes duel. However, if a witch or wizard does manage to master one, usually by sharing the Vila's own passionate and emotional nature, it tends to favor magic rooted in emotion, love, protection, and yes, fire. Just do not expect it to listen to you every single time. Now, we must discuss a wand core that you will almost never hear about in polite society, and for good reason: troll whisker. While it is true that whiskers from a common mountain troll can channel magic, they are considered second-rate by nearly every reputable wand maker on the planet. The magic they produce is usually coarse, unstable, and incredibly difficult to refine. Wands with this core are blunt instruments, capable of powerful, brute force spells, but lacking any semblance of nuance or subtlety. Think of it as a giant club rather than a surgical scalpel. They also have a nasty reputation for going wild if provoked. A troll whisker wand is more likely to spark unexpectedly, backfire during complex spell work, or in some documented cases, simply snap under the strain of significant magical pressure. Ollivander flatly rejected them, believing them to be utterly unsuitable for the refined art of wand making. And if the man who dedicated his life to the craft does not trust it, you probably shouldn't either. They are a relic of a cruder, less understood era of magic, a reminder that not all magical substances are created equal. From the crude to the cunning, we move to Kelpie Hair. This one is exceptionally rare, partly because harvesting a strand from a Scottish Kelpie is an excellent way to get yourself drowned. Kelpies are malevolent, shape-shifting water spirits with a taste for luring unsuspecting travelers into a watery grave. They are not, to put it mildly, the friendliest of donors. As a wand core, Kelpie Hair produces a sleek, fluid, and adaptable magic. It is especially potent with water-based spells, enchantments involving concealment or transformation, and some forms of illusion. But the real catch is its temperament. These wands are slippery, not literally, but magically. They are hard to master and can be frustratingly inconsistent, sometimes resisting even basic charms unless the wielder possesses absolute emotional control and clarity of purpose. They are a reflection of the creature itself, beautiful and powerful, but deceptive and dangerous. Paired with the right witch or wizard, however, someone with a deep connection to the natural world and a fluid, adaptable mind, a Kelpie Hair wand can cast with an eerie elegance, its spells flowing like water, powerful and unstoppable. The variety of cores speaks to the incredible diversity of the magical world. But this diversity is not just a matter of creatures. It is also a matter of culture. For centuries, British wandlore was dominated by Ollivander's Trinity, but across the ocean, in the vast and wild lands of North America, a different tradition was taking shape, born from different magical creatures and a different relationship with the land. Let us explore the magical cores of American wand making, specifically those used by the legendary wand maker Isolde Sayre, a co-founder of the Ilvermorny school of witchcraft and wizardry. First, there is Wampus Cat Hair. The Wampus is a fearsome, panther-like magical beast, incredibly fast, immensely strong, and nearly impossible to kill. Its hair, as a wand core, produces wands that are strong, physical, and aggressive. They favor warriors and duelists, users with sharp reflexes and quick, decisive instincts. Wands with this core are excellent for transfiguration and powerful, direct charms. Think of it as brute force meets magical intuition. It is a core for those who act first and think later, and who usually come out on top because of it. Next, we have the Thunderbird Tail Feather. The Thunderbird is a majestic, magical bird, native to Arizona, capable of creating storms as it flies. As a wand core, its feather channels this powerful, elemental magic. Wands with this core are difficult to master, but they are incredibly reactive to danger. They are known to be able to cast powerful protective spells, sometimes even before the user has consciously decided to do so, especially in high-stress situations. This makes them highly sought after by aurors and anyone who regularly finds themselves in perilous circumstances. They specialize in transfiguration and weather-related magic, and they have a sixth sense for peril. Then there is the horned serpent horn. The horned serpent is a magical, river-dwelling serpent with a jewel in its forehead, said to grant powers of invisibility and flight. Isolde Sayre herself befriended one, and used shavings from its horn in the very first American-made wands. This core is particularly special. It favors scholars, visionaries, and those with an aptitude for mind magic. It responds best to deep thinkers and those who approach magic as a structured, intellectual art, not a chaotic blast of power. Wands with a horned serpent horn core are known to be exceptionally powerful and sensitive, and they have been observed to vibrate to warn their owners of danger and to emit a low, musical note when their chosen witch or wizard is near. These American cores are rare in Britain, but they serve as a powerful reminder of how culturally diverse and geographically specific wandlore can be. The magic of a land is reflected in its creatures, and those creatures, in turn, lend their essence to the wands created there. Magical personality is not a one-size-fits-all situation. The heart of a wand can beat with the fire of a dragon, the loyalty of a phoenix, the cunning of a serpent, or the fury of a storm. But no matter the origin of its heart, a wand cannot speak without a voice, and that voice is carved from the ancient trees of the magical world. If the core provides the raw magical energy, the wood is what shapes it. It is the wand's skin, its voice, and its mood. It influences how that power is expressed through control, nuance, emotion, or brute force. And according to the extensive notes of Ollivander, the choice of wood is anything but decorative. It is a deeply magical decision that defines the wand's character. Each wand wood possesses a natural affinity, not just for certain types of magic, but for certain types of people. Some woods are fiercely loyal, bonding for life with their chosen master. Others are wild, stubborn, or even vengeful, requiring a firm and powerful hand. You are not simply assigned a wand. It accepts or rejects you based on a deep, instinctual understanding of your character. It is also worth noting that the wand wood affects not just how your spells work, but also the wand's resilience and longevity. A wand made of willow, for example, possesses self-healing properties. Vinewood is deeply intuitive, often seeming to know its master's intent. And Blackthorn thrives on trauma, growing stronger through adversity. There is far more going on here than just a nicely polished piece of timber. Let us break it down, starting with the most infamous wood of all, elder. The wood used in the Elder Wand, the Wand of Destiny, the Death Stick. Elder is the rarest of all wand woods, and it is almost never used in modern wand making. Why? Because it is deeply unlucky, profoundly dangerous, and it does not like to be tamed. Most wand makers, quite frankly, do not want to be murdered by their own creations. Elder wands are immensely powerful, especially when paired with a strong core like Thestral Hair. But that power comes at a terrible cost. Elder wood tends to reject any user who is not demonstrably superior to their peers. It is not loyal, it is demanding. It only respects power, and if you are not stronger than the wand itself, it will simply refuse to cooperate, or worse, abandon you in a moment of crisis. The history of the Elder Wand is a litany of death and betrayal. Its masters rarely die of old age. They are murdered, defeated, and conquered by the next wizard ambitious enough to claim it. If you are using elder wood, you are not just casting spells. You are entering into a magical arms race with every other powerful wizard in the world. It is a wood that chooses wizards destined for greatness. But often, that destiny is a dark and bloody one. From the wood of death, we turn to a wood that is often its companion, you. This is a wood famously associated with dark magic. It is rare, potent, and highly controversial. Lord Voldemort's first wand was made of yew, and when you understand the properties of the wood, it is not difficult to see why. Yew wood responds to ambition, cunning, and an unwavering command of power. It is naturally attuned to high-level spell work, particularly curses and transfiguration, and it retains a disturbing memory for cruelty. A yew wand that has been used to perform the dark arts will often carry a stain of that magic forever. This is not a wand for the casual or faint-hearted user. It requires absolute control. But that does not mean all yew wand owners are evil. It simply means that yew enables power, and it provides its wielder with a formidable reputation in dueling and all forms of dark magic. Whether that power is used to corrupt or to protect is entirely on the caster. That said, yew wood does not get along well with hesitation or timidity. It demands a master who is decisive and unafraid. Make up your mind quickly, or it might just make it up for you. And now, for its perfect counterpart, we have holly. Holly is one of the most spiritually charged and protective woods in all of wandlore. It is traditionally associated with protection, rebirth, and moral alignment. Harry Potter's wand, famously made of holly and phoenix feather, represents this perfect balance, a wood of light magic containing a core with the capacity for immense and potentially deadly force. Holly is a selective wood. It often chooses users who are engaged in a dangerous or spiritual quest, or those who need to overcome a tendency to anger and impetuosity. These wands often end up in the hands of witches and wizards who are facing deep personal conflict or wrestling with inner demons. They are also known for their unique ability to temper volatile cores, such as a phoenix feather, creating a harmonious balance between the wood's protective nature and the core's fiery independence. But holly wood is picky. It is not the kind of wand that switches its allegiance lightly, nor does it tolerate being used for casual cruelty or frivolous magic. It demands a wielder with a purpose, a clear moral compass, even if that purpose and that compass are still being discovered. Let us now consider a classic, the very symbol of strength and endurance, oak. Often called the strongest of all wandwoods, both in its physical durability and its magical power, oak is dependable, reliable, and powerful in nearly every magical discipline. It favors witches and wizards who possess loyalty, integrity, and persistence. Wands made from oak are not flashy or dramatic, but they are stubborn and true. Once bonded to a master, they become a seamless extension of their will, capable of great magical depth, particularly in elemental magic, protective charms, and ancient, nature-based spells. Oak is also deeply tied to the natural world. Its users often find themselves unusually attuned to magical creatures, forest environments, and the deep, old magic of the earth. It is the wood of druids, guardians, and people who do not need to shout to be taken seriously. The half-giant Rubeus Hagrid, a man of immense loyalty and strength, possessed the remains of an oak wand concealed within his pink umbrella. This wood is not for the morally flexible. Oak tends to resist deceitful or manipulative behavior, demanding honesty and courage from its master. Next, we have ash. Ash wood wands are best suited to strong-willed, courageous individuals, not necessarily loud or arrogant, but immovable in their convictions. Ollivander noted that wands made from ash cling to their one true master and refuse to work well for anyone else, often losing all power if passed on or gifted. They favor users who are independent thinkers, natural-born leaders, and especially those who stick to their beliefs even under immense pressure. These wands do not switch sides. They do not compromise. They are known for their absolute reliability and their resilience in the heat of battle. If an ash wand chooses you, expect it to stay with you for life. Should you do something to betray its trust, it will not explode or backfire, but it might just cease to work for you altogether. A silent, stubborn judgment from your most loyal companion. From the unyielding to the perceptive, we come to cedar, a wand of secrets and silent strength. Cedar wood does not brag, but it remembers. Witches and wizards who pair well with cedar often possess deep inner convictions and a quiet strength. They are people who may appear serene on the surface but are unwavering once they have made a decision. Ollivander wrote that he could never fool a cedar wand carrier. They command respect without ever needing to demand it. They are natural protectors and are often surprisingly skilled in defensive magic, powerful charms, and nonverbal spellcasting. The wand itself is highly perceptive. If you are lying to yourself or to others, a cedar wand may falter, its magic becoming sluggish and unresponsive. But if you possess true integrity, the kind that stands firm even when no one is watching, it will amplify your magic with an eerie, beautiful precision. Let us now examine a more sensitive and intuitive wood, vine. Vinewood wands are deeply connected to perception, intuition, and the hidden currents of magic. They tend to choose users with heightened emotional intelligence, the kind of people who pick up on subtle details and unspoken truths that others miss. Hermione Granger's first wand was made of vine wood, a perfect match for her brilliant and perceptive mind. These wands are sensitive, not in a weak or fragile way, but in the sense that they seem to know what spell you are about to cast even before you do. They are particularly powerful when used for prophecy, complex charms, and healing magic. Interestingly, vine wands are among the most likely to reveal hidden talents in their user, sometimes activating magical abilities the witch or wizard never knew they possessed. They are a favorite of seers, visionaries, and people whose magic stems from deep insight, not brute force. From insight, we turn to recovery, with the gentle and resilient Willow. Willow is the recovery wand, deeply associated with healing, renewal, and overcoming hardship. It often favors those who have been through some great trial or suffered a significant loss, not necessarily heroes, but survivors. The wood itself has semi-healing properties, which means willow wands often last longer than others and can recover from magical damage that would snap a different wand in half. They reward perseverance and humility, bonding best with those who have failed and learned from their mistakes. Despite this, willow wands are often underestimated, mistaken for being lesser or weaker until they quietly outpace everyone else in practical, complex spellwork. They tend to be quiet performers, and while they are often chosen by users who doubt themselves, the wand itself rarely doubts its master. Lily Potter, a witch known for her immense talent in charms and her profound capacity for love, wielded a willow wand. Now for a wood of complexity and contradiction, Hawthorn. According to Ollivander, Hawthorn is best suited to a user with a similarly conflicted nature, someone wrestling with inner turmoil, deep contradiction, or a volatile personality. The magic it produces is powerful and can be used for both healing and curses with equal proficiency, two sides of the same magical coin. Hawthorn wands are complex and demanding. They do not like simple answers, and they absolutely hate indecisiveness. They require a master who is not afraid of their own complexities. If you can master it, the rewards are immense, as it is a wood capable of truly extraordinary magic. But be warned, Hawthorn wands have been known to act out when neglected or misunderstood. Yes, your wand might have a mood swing. It's that kind of wood. Draco Malfoy, a character defined by his internal conflict, wielded a Hawthorn wand. From conflict, we turn to the wood that thrives in it, Blackthorn. Blackthorn is, unequivocally, the battle wand. It bonds best with users who are no strangers to adversity. Warriors, aurors, survivors, and those who have had to fight for everything they have, either literally or metaphorically. This wood thrives in conflict. In fact, it becomes more powerful the more danger it is exposed to. A Blackthorn wand that has been through many duels with its owner will hold the experience of those battles within it, making its protective and offensive spells all the more potent. This does not mean it enjoys violence, but it does mean that if you are ever dueling for your life, it wants to be there with you. Blackthorn wands are rarely passed on. They form such a strong personal bond with their owner that they often die with them. And if you try to use one without first earning its respect, expect magical blowback, and possibly a wand that just refuses to cast for you at all. Next, a wood that is something of a chameleon, Chestnut. This one is a little unpredictable, as its nature changes dramatically depending on the core it is paired with and the personality of the witch or wizard who wields it. Chestnut wood reflects its user's values, and not always in a flattering way. It works incredibly well for witches and wizards who are passionate, driven, and magically gifted. However, it can also amplify arrogance, vanity, or obsession. It is particularly responsive to those skilled with magical beasts and herbology, making it a favorite for magizoologists and potion masters. But in the hands of someone selfish or glory-hungry, it tends to become unstable or overly forceful. In short, Chestnut doesn't judge, but it does mirror. If your priorities are in check, it will serve you well. If not, prepare to be publicly exposed by a piece of wood. Peter Pettigrew, a wizard defined by his weakness and treachery, possessed a chestnut wand that was later passed to Ron Weasley. The sheer variety of wandwoods is staggering, a testament to the complexity of magic and personality. There is Alder, a stubborn wood that seeks an owner who is considerate and well-liked, refusing to perform for anyone who is not its master. Applewood, which is powerful and best suited to an owner of high aims and ideals, mixing poorly with dark magic. Aspen, a wood for duelists and revolutionaries, for those destined for quests and discovery. Beech, which in the right hands is capable of great artistry and subtlety, but can be narrow-minded if paired with an intolerant master. Birch, a resilient wood that is a steadfast and loyal companion. Black walnut, a handsome wood that is not the easiest to master, as it is highly attuned to inner conflict and loses power dramatically if its owner practices any form of self-deception. Cherry, a rare wood that can lend its wielder deadly power, but only in the hands of a wizard with exceptional self-control. Cypress, a wood associated with nobility and bravery, often choosing those who are destined to die a heroic death. Dogwood, a quirky and mischievous wood that refuses to perform non-verbal spells and has a playful nature. Ebony, a wood for those with the courage to be themselves, holding no prejudices and being unimpressed by status, making it a perfect match for those on the fringes of society or members of the Order of the Phoenix. Elm, which produces the most elegant charms and spells and the fewest accidents, but requires a dignified and dexterous hand. Fear, The survivor's wood, which demands a master of staying power and purpose. Hazel, a sensitive wood that reflects its owner's emotional state and works best for those who understand and manage their own feelings. And hornbeam, which selects for its life's partner a talented witch or wizard with a single, pure passion, which some might call an obsession. This is the symphony of wandlore. It is not enough to know the properties of a core or the temperament of a wood. The true science lies in their synthesis, in the delicate and often unpredictable dance between these powerful magical components. How does a particular wood temper or amplify a particular core? What kind of witch or wizard is born from their union? This is where the artistry of the wandmaker truly shines. Consider the most famous wand of the modern era, Harry Potter's. 11 inches, holly with a phoenix feather core. At first glance, it is a study in contradictions. Holly, the protective, morally righteous wood, paired with a core from a creature of chaotic, independent fire. Yet, it was a perfect match. The holly wood provided a grounding force, a protective shell that helped to channel and control the feather's immense and sometimes volatile power. It was a wand for someone on a righteous quest, someone who needed protection but also possessed an inner fire. The wand reflected its master's journey perfectly. Now, consider its twin, Lord Voldemort's wand, 13.5 inches, with a phoenix feather core. Here, the same core is paired with a wood known for its association with death, power, and the dark arts. The U did not temper the phoenix feather. It amplified its raw power, twisting it to a dark purpose. It was a wand of terrible greatness, a weapon for a wizard who sought to conquer death itself. The combination was not just powerful, it was symbolic. A core of life and rebirth trapped within a vessel of death and domination. Let us look at other legendary combinations. Hermione Granger's wand of vine wood and dragon heartstring. The vine, a wood of intuition and intellectual brilliance, was the perfect conduit for the raw, explosive power of the dragon heartstring core. It allowed her to take that torrent of magical energy and shape it with incredible precision and speed, making her one of the most formidable spellcasters of her generation. The wood provided the intellect. The core provided the firepower. Or consider Draco Malfoy's wand, 10 inches, Hawthorn, with a unicorn hair core. Again, a contradiction. Hawthorn, the wood of inner conflict and turmoil, paired with the purest and most steadfast of cores. This wand was a mirror of Draco's own soul. The Hawthorn reflected his internal battle between his family's dark legacy and his own conscience, while the unicorn hair core spoke to a potential for goodness and purity within him, a potential that he struggled with throughout his life. The wand's allegiance was even pliable. It shifted to Harry Potter after he physically overpowered Draco, a sign of the Hawthorn's respect for strength and the unicorn core's recognition of a worthier master. Some combinations, however, are simply incompatible. Imagine pairing a Thestral Tail Hair core, which only respects the mastery of death, with a gentle, healing Willow wand. The result would likely be a magical schism, a wand at war with itself, utterly unstable and dangerous, or a crude troll Whisker core inside an elegant ebony wand. The wood, which seeks a master of conviction and individuality, would likely find the core's blunt, magical signature repulsive, resulting in a wand that is weak and prone to failure. The craft of the wandmaker is to see these potential harmonies and discords, to understand the personalities of wood and core, and to facilitate the perfect introduction to a potential master. And this brings us to the architects of destiny themselves, the Wandmakers. The name most associated with this ancient craft is, of course, Ollivander, The Ollivander family has been making fine wands in Britain since 382 B.C. They are, without question, the masters of the art. It was Garrick Ollivander's own father who revolutionized the craft, abandoning the old, inconsistent practice of customers providing their own magical cores and instead insisting on standardizing the use of the Supreme Three. But it was Garrick who took the family's philosophy to its zenith with his famous declaration, "The wand chooses the wizard." This simple idea changed everything. It transformed wand buying from a simple transaction into a mystical experience, a moment where a wizard's destiny is revealed. Ollivander's dedication to matching the right wand to the right wizard, his photographic memory for every wand he ever sold, and his deep, intuitive understanding of the science made him a legend. But he was not the only one. In the heart of Europe, there was his rival, Gregorovitch, a highly skilled and famous wandmaker in his own right. Gregorovitch had a different philosophy. He was known for his experimentation with different cores and woods, and his style was often seen as more dramatic and performance-oriented than Ollivander's. He did not seem to share the same mystical belief in the wand choosing the wizard, perhaps seeing the wand more as a high-performance tool to be wielded. It was this ambition that led him to seek out and briefly possess the Elder Wand, a decision that ultimately led to his demise at the hands of Lord Voldemort. And around the world, other traditions flourished. In America, Iseult Sayre and James Stewart founded Ilvermorny and began a new tradition of wand-making using the magical cores of the New World. Their successors, Violetta Beauvais of New Orleans and Johannes Jonker of the Eastern Mountains, continued this work, each developing their own unique styles. Beauvais' wands, often carved from swamp mayhaw wood and containing rougarou hair, were known for their connection to dark magic, while Jonkers were highly sought after, intricately carved wands with mother-of-pearl inlay. These different makers, with their different materials and philosophies, show that wandlore is not a monolithic science. It is a living, breathing art form, shaped by the culture, environment, and magical creatures of its homeland. The relationship between a wand and its wielder is a sacred bond, but it is not always a permanent one. This brings us to the complex and often brutal laws of allegiance. How is a wand's loyalty won, and how can it be lost? The most common method, as any Hogwarts student knows, is through the disarming charm, Expelliarmus. When cast successfully, it does not just knock the wand from an opponent's hand. It can signal a transfer of mastery. The wand, recognizing that its previous owner has been bested, may shift its allegiance to the victor. This is how Harry Potter became the master of Draco Malfoy's Hawthorn wand without ever touching it. And, crucially, how he became the true master of the Elder Wand. But there is a darker path to mastery: murder. Some wands, particularly those made of aggressive woods or those used for dark purposes, respond most decisively to a transfer of power through death. The Elder Wand is the most extreme example of this. Its history is a chronicle of wizards murdering their predecessors to claim its power. It does not respect a simple disarming charm as much as it respects the ultimate act of conquest. Its allegiance is absolute, but it is also fickle, always ready to pledge itself to a stronger master. Can a wand's allegiance be given away freely? This is a more complex question. A wand can be gifted, but it may not work as well for its new owner, feeling a lingering loyalty to its first master. Some wands, like those made of ash, will refuse to work at all. The bond must be won, either through a duel, an act of genuine inheritance, or the wand's own mysterious choice. It is a relationship built on respect, and that respect must be earned. And what of broken wands? A simple break can sometimes be repaired with a charm like Oculus Reparo, but a catastrophic break, like the one Ron Weasley's first wand suffered, is often fatal. The wand's magical channel is severed. Ron's broken wand backfired spells, spewed slugs, and ultimately failed him. The only known way to perfectly repair such damage is with the immense power of the Elder Wand, which Harry used to mend his own beloved Holly wand, a feat no other wand could have accomplished. This intricate dance of power, personality, and allegiance has been played out in countless legendary duels throughout history, with the wands themselves often playing a crucial role. The most significant of these involves the two wands with the twin phoenix feather cores. In the graveyard of Little Hangleton, when Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort dueled, their wands connected in the spectacular and rare phenomenon of Priori Incantatem. The reverse spell effect created a golden web of light between them, and the echo of Voldemort's last victims, including Harry's parents, emerged from his wand, protecting Harry and allowing him to escape. It was a moment where the wands themselves took control, their shared soul refusing to allow one brother to kill the other. Decades earlier, the wizarding world was torn apart by the duel between Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald in 1945. This was not just a clash of two of the most powerful wizards of all time. It was a battle for the mastery of the Elder Wand. The duel was said to have been the greatest in history, a terrifying display of magical power that raged for hours. In the end, Dumbledore emerged victorious, not by killing Grindelwald, but by defeating him. He won the wand's allegiance fairly, and it served him faithfully for the rest of his life, a testament to the idea that true mastery is about more than just brute force. Other wands have become infamous through the deeds of their masters. The cruel, curved wand of Bellatrix Lestrange, made of walnut and dragon heartstring, was an instrument of torture and murder, taking the lives of Sirius Black and Dobby the house elf. Its magic was as twisted and vicious as the witch who wielded it. The wand of Lucius Malfoy, a grand affair of elm with a dragon heartstring core, housed in a silver-headed cane, was more a symbol of status than a true partner. When he was forced to give it to Voldemort, the Dark Lord snapped it with ease, a powerful symbol of how a wand without a true bond to its master is just a fragile piece of wood. And so, we arrive at the end of our journey, back where we began, at the heart of a piece of wood, with a sliver of a magical creature at its core. The science of wandlore is not just about cataloging properties and memorizing charts. It is the study of connection, of the mysterious sympathy between a human soul and the magical essence of the world. A wand is a mirror. It reflects the courage of its wielder, their ambition, their capacity for love, and their potential for darkness. It is a silent witness to their greatest triumphs and their most devastating failures. It is a partner, a weapon, a friend, and sometimes a judge. Whether your wand is loyal, temperamental, or just likes to burst into flames when you're stressed, now you know why. But of course, the wand is only one half of the story. The other half is the person holding it. And nothing reveals more about a witch or wizard's fundamental nature than the Hogwarts house they are sorted into. Brave, cunning, loyal, or clever, these are the four great pillars of character upon which the wizarding world was built. So, if you wish to go deeper, to understand the four magical factions that have shaped every great wizarding rivalry and alliance in history, prepare yourself. Every Hogwarts House Explained in detail is next. Just don't be surprised if you find yourself questioning where your own loyalties lie.